swiftly on.
Welcome back to another tutorial, and we are back with a request. The request was how to make a boat out of junk modelling things. So we are looking at how I turned a milk bottle into a boat that floats and also catches the wind and moves. So if you're interested in having a go at making this, stick around. Let's get crafting. Right then guys, let's have a look at all the things we're going to need to make our model boat. So there's a few things you'll 100% need to be able to make this that you can't make it without, and there's a couple of things that you only need if you want it to look a little bit nicer. So let's have a look at the things we definitely need. So now the most important part is definitely the bottle, because this is going to be the main part of your boat, or what we call the hull. So personally, I would go for something like this. You know, this is already pretty close to a boat shape, so I would aim for something like this, which is a 4 pint plastic bottle of milk. Obviously make sure you clean it out really well. If you don't have anything like this, you could also use something like this. This would also work, a 2 pint. It would just make a slightly smaller boat, and at a push you could make one out of a Robinson's bottle. I just think this would be slightly trickier, but you could still definitely do it. So, apart from your bottle, which definitely is the most important part, we'll put that to one side. You're going to need a plastic bag, because this is going to be your sail when we cut it up. You're going to need a little bit of extra cardboard. I've got a Jaffa Cake box, it doesn't matter what it is, pizza box, anything like that will do. You're going to need some sheets of some little sheets of paper or card, and then you're going to need your normal things like your ruler, your pencil, your pen, your scissors, your rubber. Might need a bit of blue tack, that could be helpful, and you're going to need some string, because we're going to use that to tie up the sails. So these are all the things you're going to need. Let's get started. Right, so our first step is going to be to cut up our bottle to make the hull, so the main part of the boat. To do that, you're going to need obviously your bottle, and you're going to need a pen. I'm going to use a Sharpie. It doesn't have to be a Sharpie, you just need to be able to see it on here. So I'm just going to take my label off, because I don't particularly want a milk label on it. I'm going to put that in the bin. And what I'm looking to do is I'm going to keep this bit up here high. I'm going to keep this bit high because this is going to be what they call the quarterdeck. So from here, I'm going to go down to where the handle finishes, and basically what I'm aiming to do is just cut the handle off. So I'm going to go down to here, and then we're going to go across there, and then I'm just going to follow that line. I'm going to go around the front to there, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So I can make sure that I do the same, I'm going to go across the top there, so that I know that I'm starting in the same place, and I'm going to aim again to go down below there, and naturally there's quite a nice little sort of ridge that you can actually follow there, so I'm going to follow that and round to there. So you can see I'm going to cut this bit out to make my shape for my boat, to make the hull. So this is a part where you might want to ask for a little bit of help off your parents, because it can be quite a tricky part. So you're going to need to use some scissors. You might need to ask them to get some sharp scissors to help you, because you're going to need to poke a hole and go around. So please be super careful doing this, and like I say, I would ask for help off your parents for this bit. I'm going to do this off camera and get back to you. Okay, so having done that, you should now have two pieces like this. You should have the bit that's going to be the hull of your boat, with this bit being kind of as straight as possible, but it doesn't matter if it's a little bit wonky. Mine is there, but we're not going to worry about that. And you should have this piece here. This next step, we're going to have a look at making the main mast. So this is just going to be a single mast boat, and it's called a pirate sloop actually. So it's just going to have one mast right in the middle of the boat, and I'm going to make that out of this piece of card. If you don't have any card, you can do it out of paper, and if you've only got a thicker card, you can still do it out of that card. It's not a problem. All I'm going to do to create it is I'm just going to roll this up as tightly as I can. So when we're rolling up, fold it ever so slightly, to start with just a tiny little piece across, like that, so that you've got somewhere to start. Trying to do it even is quite tricky. The more you do it, the better you'll get. And then fold it over again. And once you fold it over again, you should be able to start rolling like that. Now, you want to try and roll this as tightly as possible. Oh, I'm having some problems myself. The tighter it is, the stronger it will be, and ideally you need your mast to be as strong as possible. There we go. And that's feeling pretty good. You're going to want to take a little piece of tape on both ends. Trying to keep it as tight as possible. Now mine is not perfect, but that's absolutely fine because it's going to work for what we're doing. And you should end up with something like that. I'm actually going to put another piece of tape just in the middle. There's that bit sticking out, and I'd rather it wasn't. And that is going to be our mast. So now we've made our main mast. You can have a look, and hopefully it should be about the same length as your hull, so your main part of your boat, and it'll sit nicely like that, leaving you enough space to create a sail. So we'll move on to the next step. Next step is going to be creating the front deck here. So we need something across here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that piece of cardboard that we had earlier, mine's a Jaffa Cake box, so nice and easy to cut, but also strong enough to do what we're going to do. And we need to make a piece that sits there. Now the way we're going to do that is we're going to take it and we're going to put it flat on there, and then we're going to flip it over, and we're going to draw round here so we know what size it needs to be. Now, just so that you can see a little bit better, I'm going to use this side to draw on. So I'm going to flip it like that, and I'm going to flip it over. This is a little bit of a fiddly part, and I'm going to take a pen. Again, this could be a good part to ask for another pair of hands if you need it. And I'm going to just draw around the hull. Gets the front, you'll have to just draw up to where you can and then join it up. Perfect. So when you take it away, you should have something like that, and that's going to fit nicely on there. And I'm just going to join that piece up there. Again, I know I'm using a Sharpie, but it's just because it shows up better on video. Just use a felt tip or a pencil or whatever it is that you have at home to use. So we're not going to cut it out to this size because we need some bits to go inside like that and overlap so that we can make a nice bit on there. Otherwise we'll just be taking a flat piece of card on there, which would be very, very tricky. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our pen and we're just going to make our line about, I don't know, a thumb bigger, like that. And we're just going to follow it round, and we're just making a nice border around it like that for us to cut along. And we're also, at this front corner here, we're going to draw a line like that, and a line like that. And the same here, a bit like a triangle, because we're also going to cut out that bit there, and that bit there, because that's going to help us in a moment. And then we're going to go in and cut these two bits out. So we're going to cut just up to the middle like that. And the same there, and we're going to do the same here, and there, like that. And the last thing we're going to do is one more triangle here, right in the middle, like that. I'm going to cut that bit out as well. So we're going to go like that and like that. So you should have something that looks like this, yeah? And in fact, we're going to, just to make it a little bit easier, we're going to do two more snips. We're going to do one there and one there. So we're just going to cut to the middle line, because it'll make this next little bit easier, I think. So we'll go to there, and we'll go to there. And now we are ready to attach this, or to at least attempt to attach this onto our boat. So what we're going to do is we are going to fold along these lines here, which is why we have cut here, here, here and here, so that it's easier. So here I'm going to fold along the lines like that. See what I mean? You do the same here. These don't have to perfectly follow your curved lines, because that's not a curve. Well, that's meant to be a curve, and I've not done it as a curve, but it's fine. You're going to do the same on the other side, like this, so that we have two bits like that. And on the front we're going to do exactly the same. Again, that's not going to be perfect, it's meant to be a curve, but it's not. It's going to be more of a bit of a triangle, which is absolutely fine. And you should end up with something like that. It should sort of stand up on its own. Attaching this, this is going to sit really nicely in that gap there, like so. And that's going to be your front deck. So before we attach that, we need to cut a hole for where our mast is going to go, because this is going to go in the middle here. So we need to cut a hole about there. So I'm going to get my pen, and I'm just going to put the dot roughly where I think it is going to be. So I'd maybe just go 2 fingers from here and then do a dot, and then you can pull that piece out. And this is where you want to take your mast, whatever you've made your mast out of, and put it on top of there, and then draw around it, because we want it to be a nice fit. Now, this is a tiny little hole, so it's going to be very difficult to cut out. So the way we're going to do it is a little bit of a, not a cheat way, but a little bit of a trick. So we are going to start there. So I'm drawing that line so I know where I'm going to cut. So I'm going to cut along here until I get to the circle, and then I'm going to cut across the circle, and I can then look at going round like that. Like so. Hopefully that will fit in there. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, it just needs to not rattle around too much. So mine probably could have been a bit smaller, and then all we're going to do is we are going to take this back together. So underneath, I'm just going to do a bit of repair work, take across there. Again, cover all of it. Try and get it back to being strong again. And I probably would normally do a piece on top, but I don't think I'm going to, because I'm planning on painting this, and you can't paint over tape. So there's lots of different ways that we could actually glue this in place or attach this to our boat, because we need to attach it roughly about there. But I'm going to show you a way you can do it without a lot of help and without a lot of tools, because obviously you could just do it with a hot glue gun if your parents had one and were willing to help you, but we're going to try and do it without one. So what we're going to do is we're going to use blue tack, or in this case we're going to use white tack. So I'm just going to get some white tack and roll it into a ball, and then on the end of here I'm going to make sure some goes into there, and then I'm going to push it on like that. I might actually need a little bit more than that. I will get some more out of the packet, and let's pop it on there. this bit is super important, so we need to make sure we attach it really well. And now the way we decide where it's going to be, we obviously need this piece as well, so slot this piece through here and then line this up and just sit it over the top as long as it's in the right place, and then where you think is the right place, just push it down without snapping your mast. And I'm going to pull this bit off just so I can push it down. Let's see if I can get a better view in there. You can see I've just pushed it down. I might have a bit of zooming on that in a moment. And all I'm going to do is just try and smooth it all out in there and stick it nicely to the bottom. Right, so now we've popped that over the top, we're going to look at what we're going to do with all of these flaps to attach it. So the two on either side, they're going to stay on the outside, and we're going to attach that to the bottle. These two on the front, we're going to take them and just tuck them in like that, so that they are out of the way. And these other two, we're going to glue or tape to the side. Now if you have PVA glue, I would put some PVA glue under there first, then tape down the sides. If you don't, you should just be okay if you tape them, as long as you do a good job of taping them. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I've popped a little bit of PVA glue underneath here, and you can either leave it to dry overnight, or you can go in with some tape and tape over the top, and you should be alright to carry on. Now the tape probably won't stick very well to the milk bottle anyway, but it should at least hold it in place until your glue is dry, in which case you can take your tape off afterwards, because the tape really doesn't stick very well to milk bottles because of the finish that milk bottles have on them and the type of plastic they are. So I'm going to do that just to be safe. Flip it over and do the same on the other side. Now, alternatively, if you have any duct tape or masking tape might work a little bit better actually. You could do that with that instead of using sellotape. It's also very hot today, so I think the tape's not sticking as well because of how sticky my fingers are. And there we go. And I would also probably suggest taping the front across there eventually. So that is now attached. The next step I would suggest doing is around here where the mast goes through the bit of cardboard, so our deck, is trying to secure this. Now there's quite a few different ways you could do this. Again, if you've got a hot glue gun and your parents are there to obviously help you with it, don't do it on your own. But if your parents are there to help you with it, you could just hot glue gun round it, or like I was saying earlier, we're going to use some more blue tack or white tack depending on what you have. So just get some blue tack and you're just going to go like that, and you're just going to wrap it round like so, and this is where it's ever so slightly fiddly, so you need to try and pop your finger underneath the cardboard so that you can push this down to attach it like that, because you want this bit to be as strong as you can, because hopefully if the mast is strong enough and we make a good sail, you should actually be able to sail and catch the wind. So I'm going to do that there. So as I say, a hot glue gun would work just as well. If you don't have any blue tack, you could just tape it down, but that's feeling a lot sturdier now because when I move it, it's actually moving the boat, which is awesome. And the next step we're going to look at doing is the sail. So let's have a go at making that. Sail, you're going to need your, well mine's a Morrison's bag, but you're going to need your plastic bag. So what we're going to do, put that to one side, is going to cut out a nice piece of our sail. Now, We only want one piece, so I'm going to cut the handle off, which I've already actually done, although it's ripped off. So all I'm going to do, and let's draw it first. Now we're going to have a look at making the sail. So I'm going to put this to one side, and we're going to get our plastic bag. Mine is a Morrison's bag, but it doesn't matter what yours is. I'm just going to draw with this so that you can see what I'm doing, but I'm going to try and cut a nice piece to be my sail. Now, it needs to be at least as tall as my mast, just for now. So I'm going to roughly measure to there. And I'm going to cut out a chunk about that big. Okay, so now I've got our piece of bag. We need to measure it with our mast. So I'm going to line it up like that. We want a little gap there, and we also want a little gap at the top where we're going to put our crow's nest, which we'll add later. So I'm going to mark out about there, because I think that'll be a decent size for mine. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to just draw myself a little line across there. Cut across there, and that's going to be the height of my mast. Sorry, my sail, not my mast. Across there. Can be quite tricky putting through this plastic bag, just because it's always trying to curl up and do things like that. Get rid of that piece, that can go in the bin, we won't need that piece. And you can just double check on yours whether or not that's looking about the right size. I think it is for me. And when it comes to how wide it is, it does want to be wider than it is tall. We are actually looking for a rectangle, but mine's probably a little bit too wide. So I'm just going to take a little bit off our width, I think. So now we've cut that out, we need to have a look at our width. Mine happens to be, because I'm lucky, probably about the right width. So you want it to be about the same width as your boat. So if you're unsure, just line your boat up and draw a line across. So I'm just going to take a tiny little piece off the end of mine, just about there, because it's probably just a little bit too long. So I'm going to cut that piece off there. So now we've got our sail and main part of our boat. We need to create a almost stick to go across the top of our sail so we can attach it onto the top of our mast. We're going to do this much the same way we did the mast. We're going to roll up a piece of card that is this long and attach it onto this. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to get a piece of card and I'm just going to measure it up. Now mine's a little bit too long, so I'm just going to get rid of that much off the end and then roll it up, and that's going to be my mast. So before you roll this up, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this piece in half this way, because we don't want the top of our sail to be as thick as our mast. So I'm just going to fold it in half so I find the middle, and I'm just going to cut along that line before I roll it up so that it isn't as thick. So I'm going to go along here, scissors. Again, this bit doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be fairly straight. And we're going to roll this up in the same way, so just fold the little piece over, all the way across. Again, the more you practice doing this, the better you will get. And then fold it over again. These need to be tiny little folds. It should be easy for you because you've got slightly smaller fingers than me. This is quite tricky when you've got hands that are a bit bigger. I'm just going to hopefully start rolling up again. Again, if you're struggling with this part, feel free to ask your parents, or if you've got any older brothers or sisters, might be able to help you. I'm just going to roll that up. So. That should work. And once again, a bit of tape on either side. Or either end, sorry, I should say, not either side. And take that piece, like so. And the other bit, this will come a little bit unrolled, but it's fine, we'll get away with it. I'm going to take this side as well. And then I'm going to take just the middle as well. I'm just going to do it that way, so that takes a bit more of it down. And later on, actually, I might go all the way across there. So that is going to be the top of our sail, like so. What we need to do before we do attach this to our sail is we need to do a small cut in our bag. So we need to find the middle point of the sail, and it needs to be quite precise. So I'm going to fold my sail in half, and that is the middle. And I'm going to unfold it. The fold is there. I'm just going to draw a little line. And now what I'm going to do is, it needs to be bigger than that, so I'm just going to cut along that line. And you'll see what this is for once we have attached our sail. It needs to be deep enough that when you put this on, you still have a little bit cut out because you're going to put something through that hole. Now, what you're going to do to attach this is you're going to tape around all of this area here, so taping from one side onto the other side. So I shall show you with one piece of tape and then I'll do the rest of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of tape, and we're going to stick it to the back like that, and then we're going to put this down here, and then we're going to do this. And we're going to do that all the way along until it's finished taping all along, so it should now be nicely securely taped onto your tube that you've created. And now we need to look at how we're going to attach this onto this right here. So the way we're going to attach the sail on is using a piece of string or a piece of wool. Anything will work. And if you don't, you can always tape it on, it will work as well. And we're going to use this little slit that we've made here. So we're going to thread our pieces of string through, not all the way through. So we can hold it like this. And then we are going to tie a single knot around the side like that, quite tight. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tie this onto our mast. So we're going to go like this. Tie it. I'm going to try and tie it fairly tight. Now don't squish your mast, but tight enough that it won't wobble around too much. I would do a double knot, and I'd also do a triple knot. And if you can't tie knots, tie lots, because it's more likely to stay on. And I'm going to get rid of those little bits there because we don't want them. Oh. So, what you probably will find is that it keeps on sliding down like that, which you don't want it to do. So what we're going to do is we are just going to tape this piece in place, or you could glue tack it, or you could glue gun it if you have a glue gun. So we're going to do that because we don't want it sliding around. Okay, so if you're struggling to keep your boat up whilst doing this step, feel free to get a couple of pieces of blue tack and just stick them on the table, and just put your bow in the middle of it, and it should stop it from falling over like that. We're going to have a look now at attaching the two corners of our sail to our mast, and to do that we're going to need some more string. So you're going to need to cut a piece of string, which I happen to have already done, the same width as your sail, like that. attach it, so I'm going to spin this around so you can see a little bit better. The way we're going to attach this is using some tape. So we're going to get a piece of tape, I'm going to put it over the end of our piece of string, and then on the corner we're just going to take it like that onto there and press it on nice and tight. And then this piece, this is the important part, make sure it goes behind the sail and not in front of the sail, so behind the sail. And to the other side, another piece of tape, we're going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to put a nice piece of tape over there, and I'm going to attach that onto the corner. Now the idea is that should be ever so slightly bending like that. And you're also going to want to tape your string onto your sail slightly closer to the mast. So there, and also there. Otherwise, you do this all the time and it won't catch the wind very well. So, I'm going to get piece of tape. This is probably the slightly fiddlier part. I'm going to find the middle. I'm going to attach it probably about there. So I'm going to go like that. I'm going to pull it tight, so I want it to be tight. And then I'm going to take this piece of tape. I'm just going to stick the string like that. And tape, so I'm just going to go around to the other side with the tape. Go. Do the same on the other side. Again, this will be easier for you guys because I'm trying to kind of show you how to do it, so it's making it probably slightly trickier. And it's probably making it look a lot harder than it is. So we're going to, again, on this side, tape down there, around to the other side. So it should look something like that. And if you blow on it, it should do that. So our last step for our sail is just to tape this piece of string to the middle of the mast, or at the middle to the mast. And we're going to do that now, a little bit of tape, and just in the middle. I'm going to try and get it as central as possible. Tape on there, and I'm just going to push it down like that. Again, you could use a glue gun for this part if your parents are happy to help you with this, and then hopefully your sail should work like that, so it should have a little bit of movement, but it should try and stay central like that. So that is our basic boat. One thing we need to do before we test it out in the water, which I've got here, is we need to put something in the hull that is going to be a little bit heavy, just to let it sink a little bit so that it doesn't keep falling over. So there's quite a few different things you could do this with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some little bits of gravel in there. You could use sand or anything really. I'm just going to use some gravel just because I happen to have some. This is where this end is quite helpful, so you can either unscrew this and put it in the end, or we've also got our hole here, so I'm just going to get some gravel. You don't want loads because you're not trying to sink it, you just need probably maybe a few handfuls, just to weigh it down a little bit. Okay. That should be enough. Going to give it a bit of a shake and try and get it spread out, and we'll give it a go. I've just quickly painted my pirate ship with some brown acrylic paint, and we're going to have a quick test and see, does it float? Hopefully it will. I'm going set in the water like that. And there we have it. We have liftoff. So the sails will also actually work with a little bit of wind. I think that is pretty successful. You'll also notice that even if I knock it, it won't tip over. And that is why we put the weight in the bottom so that it won't fall over when you tip it or when the wind blows it. So hopefully you've enjoyed making one of these little pirate sloops, and you've successfully managed to make something that floats like this. Even going a little bit further and decorating it a bit more in terms of putting a quarterdeck on and putting a crow's nest on, and also a couple of extra features on the front. You can have a look at the second video, which will be coming up later on, where we'll look in a little bit more detail how we can craft those extra bits. So hopefully you've enjoyed yourself, and until next time, keep on crafting.